All right, g'day. What is up, guys? So I want to make a leveling video after the last video I made. You're going to be spending a ton of time leveling. So what better video to make than one that will hopefully reduce some of the slog that this game definitely can be. Um, it's Yeah, it's a classic MMO, guys. Like, there isn't going to be any super hard and fast way that you can get levels in this game unless you're on the free-to-play server, which I highly do not recommend. And then you just sort of buy XP scrolls because that will be the overall theme for the whole game. Just buy your victory, buy your progress, buy your power, and you'll learn pretty quickly that there really is no amount, like, there is no limit on how much money you can spend on this game if you're on the free to play server. So that is tip number one. If you're on the free to play server, just buy XP boosts. There basically is, like, that's going to be the quickest way for you to level. Buy XP boosts, buy some level carries or something in dungeons. That's it. You can stop the video here if you're on free to play and you have a big wallet. You don't need to read anything else. Just buy XP boosts from the auction house for gold if you have tons of gold, or buy them from other players, or just get them from the cash shop. So for uh, those chads that are on the pay to play server, which you should be, it's only €4 a month. There's no pay to win garbage. Everyone here is equal. The people who have a lot of stuff only because they put the time in the game and not because they've just opened their wallet. So for those in the pay to play server, guild bonus. If you're in a guild that has these 5 rubies, these beginner training rubies, which my guild sadly doesn't. Again, if you're in free to play, you might be able to find a guild that has these. If you do, you get a full 20% bonus experience for completing quests. It's not for killing enemies, it's for completing quests. So this will not help you if you're doing time void or some other method or whatever. This is just for questing, which is the number one recommended way to level in this game, which I'll explain why in a little bit. But this is one way you can get some extra. You can look for a guild specifically that is a leveling guild. In the pay to play server, I will tell you that at least on Smuggler's Paradise, the guild I'm in, Avarice, we don't have these rubies, as you can see. We haven't unlocked them. If you go into abilities, it's 0% here. Like, it's a bummer, but we have more important end game ones like Realgar Mines and Dominion stuff and so on. It would be nice if we had those, but I mean, yeah, like, we only have like 7 more rubies to even unlock it from what I can see here, and no one's taking anything from the expansion side. So anyway, that's number one, technically for the pay to play, and also for the two for the free to play guys. The number three tip is that when you're in the pay to play server, you already get 33% passive bonus to all XP. This is to XP that you get from kills and XP that you get from quests. XP in everything. It's really nice. It's literally 1/3 of your entire grind removed just because you pay €4 a month, which is pretty decent. It's kind of like a permanent experience scroll that you would have on at all times, which, in the free to play, you've got to pay in the boutique and buy these all the time and reuse them, and then they just tick down even when you're not in game, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it's nice to have that. Marks of Fate. Absolutely use your Marks of Fate. They're up here. Yeah, like, just make sure to use them. Use them on quests that you don't want to do. Even if you've got a whole bunch of other quests in the same area in the map, use your Marks of Fate. You can right click a quest, and if it is possible to complete it with Marks of Fate, it'll say complete. None of my quests at the moment currently have that. I think I might be able to find one over here for you. This is unfortunately just a kind of crappy side quest. I recommend you don't do those. This one I can't complete automatically either. What about this one over here? This one I can. So this one can be completed instantly. As you can see, bring 10 turtle shells to Tycoon Family. I can go and kill these turtles. and get 2,000 experience, or I can just complete it immediately. Now, this is a side quest. It has a side quest icon here. It's something that I highly recommend you just skip these. I wouldn't even spend Marks of Fate on this, but I'm going to do it just now to show you. The quests that you do want to complete are these ones that are blue. If you have a pretty dripped out character like I do with decent gear, you can kill these group things no problem yourself. Yeah, even if you're a healer class, you should be able to solo all of these quests that are group quests now. They've basically adjusted everyone's power, that you should be able to solo them. At least in the pay to play server, I can't tell you about the free to play one, but in the pay to play one, yeah. So you want to do the super gold ones that are important, as it says in the tooltip, important quest, one time quest, and the glowing animation ones, which are world mystery quests, are super, super important. But anyway, point is, Marks of Fate, let's just show this quickly before we get ahead of ourselves. So we can complete this instantly. We take the quest, we right click it over here, we click complete. It says it will use 13,860 Marks of Fate. Now, you will get roughly 20 to 25% of your Marks of Fate back. So do not despair, just use them. So as soon as I do this, I will get a certain amount of Marks of Fate now, as you can see here, for completing the task of getting 10 turtle shells. So this was basically what I would have gotten from having killed these 10 turtles, pretty much. And then, additionally, I'm going to get a certain amount for turning it in right now. So as soon as I pick a reward, by the way, the reward you pick should always be, if you look at the tooltip, you have these stars. I have 2 silver stars, 1 extra proficiency in brutality and 1 extra vitality. You want to obviously pick the piece that gives you additional bonus in your gold star predominantly, and then any silver stars afterwards. Otherwise, if it doesn't have any stars, or it's taking points out of those stars, especially if it's taking points out of a gold star, you shouldn't be picking that item. So, as you can see, I got another 2,475 back. So I gained 1,238 plus another 2,475. It's basically 3,000, sort of 700-ish, which is pretty decent. 3,700-ish out of the 13,000 that I needed. So it only cost me 10,000 Marks of Fate. So pretty good. I got about 25 odd percent of my Marks of Fate back. So use them, they're there to be used. If you don't use them by the end of the game, they all disappear when you get to maximum level. So make sure you seriously use them and prioritize these kind of quests over these more faded ones for sure. So the next thing, as I said, avoid the side quests. These ones you can do Time Void. Now, highly not recommended. When you do Time Void, you can join immediately. You get a recruit's chest, so you always have gear for your level, which is pretty nice. You can join as, as a damage. You go in. I'll just do it super quickly. You generally need to hire some mercenaries from this guy who appears here. So you hire mercenaries, blah, blah, blah. And you're looking specifically for this Spirit of Light. I got it in the first try. If you don't get it, you can abort it and start it, or abort it and start it. If you don't get the light in the dark at all, you basically have to leave. And then there is, I think it's a 5-minute cooldown now because you didn't complete all 3 of these. You have to leave and wait 5 minutes for the cooldown. As you can see here, timeline bifurcation. You need to wait and then you can do this again. So there's a 5-minute delay on this. It was nerfed a lot. You used to be able to do this, finish it, immediately leave, come back in, abort, go, abort, go, and then find it again, light in the dark, do it again, and then you basically go to a random area on the map. You protect this target, kill the NPCs, and you can attempt to do it without mercenaries. You'll get a lot more experience, like a lot more. You lose 75% of the amount of experience you would normally get if you take a single mercenary. If you do it solo, you risk getting whooped because these are pretty tough enemies. It's meant to be for a group. If you take, like I said, one mercenary, you lose 75% of your experience. So you can try and do this. The problem is that by doing this, you will not get rubies. Now, rubies are super important. Now I can say that you should focus on the main story quest, which is these gold, really bright gold scrolls, and of course these glowing animated ones, which are world mystery quests. So this is important quest, world mystery quest, as it says in the the tooltip. And this is important quest, one-time quest. These ones are super important because they can unlock quests in next areas. These ones are super important because they generally give you, if you look in your quest log here, World Mysteries, they will give you some sort of reward. In most cases, it's usually a ruby. So ruby, 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 ruby. It's not always a ruby. This one doesn't give you anything. It might give you something though, because I'm not sure. I might maybe just not be able to see until I start doing the quest, because I did have a skill scroll for this one and it's disappeared after I got it. It should be down here, but it's gone. And same for this one. So it might be that there's something in these quests. I have no idea. But generally, you get a ruby. Rubies are really important. They go here. I put almost all of my rubies, except for this one, into just beefing out my damage, which is super important for leveling. Obviously, you want to be as high damage as possible, one-shotting enemies if you can, and just flying through everything as fast as you can. So I've got a bit of extra obsession here, which makes things a little bit easier in my rotation. And then I just basically dumped all my damage into Torment, and I have a 36% chance for it to instantly refresh. And I use Fury Spec for this. Unfortunately, I don't get to use my ranged abilities. I lose 40 yards of range, but I gain 40% damage. I also have my aspect of attack, of assault, sorry. It's another 30%. That's 70% extra damage. And then if I add my mania, I have 100% extra damage, and I can just one-shot delete basically anything that is like my level or whatever. You know, this is level 22, but I can find other enemies over here like this Banshees, or there are enemies somewhere. This is 24, but I can generally one-shot these enemies, as you can see. Like, pretty much just completely delete them in one hit. Whether or not you want to go, like, if you're a demonologist and then just start, you know, tagging everything and grouping it up, this guy's an elite, so he's got a lot more health. You can always tell because he has this sort of skull and bones things above his face. If you want to group up everybody like this, you know, and do this kind of thing, and, you know, maybe it's the same speed, maybe it's faster for you, I don't know. But for me, I like having the 50% movement speed. I can get extra 10% every 5 minutes for 15 seconds. That's the best I can do in Demonologist until someone in my guild best friends me something. But yeah, you know, like that's pretty much that. In addition, what else? Yeah, let me see. Just a second. So yeah, next tip, have a nice mount, have the fastest possible mount you can. Once you get to 65, you basically can do a raid quest. You get a super fast mount then. You can also get a mount from your guild. If you have someone that can go best friends with you in a guild, you can have 3 best friends per person. If you have someone like that, they can share their mounts with you, and then you can get a super fast mount. For me at the moment, I just have my Fury and my Horrible Grey Wolf, which is only 40%. It's even slower than the Fury spec, so I just stay in Fury face, basically. Make sure you're always in the right area. Do not do quests that are a few levels lower than you unless you absolutely have to. I'm 25, and as you can see, 2 levels lower than me is already grey. 1 level lower than me and the same level as me is white, and 1 level above is yellow. You can also tell generally from here where you're going to go next. You can also see once you're 28, you probably should be in Elyun here. To get to these places and to generally have the quests available in this next area, though, you do need to do these kind of golden quests here. I highly recommend that you skip the side quest ones because you don't want to be doing side quests under leveled for you, and you don't want to get to the next area and be 2 levels over the quests that are at that area. Otherwise, you're going to be just leveling super slow. Like, be the right level. As soon as you get to a new area, as soon as you can go to a new area, as soon as you go to level 28 and these quests open up, just go there straight away. You can drop most of these, wrap up the ones you might already have. Don't take any new ones and just go straight to the next area. But you do need to do these ones to get the kind of breadcrumb quests to say, hey, you now need to go somewhere else. Yeah, so there are also some extremely rare double XP events that happen basically never. These can give you some also XP buffs. Basically, that happens never. Like, you might be some double XP weekend. It's very rare. They used to happen a lot more often, but not really anymore. You can also get a 50% XP buff for 1 day, as I understand, for your reincarnation character only. For this, you have to already have a maximum level, or at least a level like 90 um, character, I think. I'm not 100% sure if it was 100 or 105 or if it was 90, but you have to be in an order. You have to be in the right, yeah, sorry about that. You have to be in the right order, and the actual bonus for that order and that day has to be the 50% XP bonus. And it's pretty rare. Like, it's generally pretty rare. I think mostly because you can vote for a bonus and basically no one picks the experience one. They will pick a bonus for something else like PvP or whatever. And that's pretty much it. Once you get to level 68, make sure you stop, get your eye rehat chest piece from your guild. I'll make another video about that. Don't keep questing without it. It'll take forever. You can get a chest piece from your guild, which is super easy. It's like a simple reward from a raid. Once you get that chest piece, it has a ridiculous amount of vigor. Basically means you can one-shot everything at like level 68 and go through and just completely face roll everything for the rest of the game until you get to sort of, very, very much towards the end game. Thanks for watching, guys. Very quick recap. Boutique shop XP boosts, highly not recommended though if you're on the free to play, but that's going to be one of your options. The 20% guild bonus, if you can get that, if you can get a guild that's a leveling guild and has those five these five rubies here. The P2P, like pay to play server, passive 33% that you get. Marks of Fate, use them. Avoid side quests. Time Void, but you get no rubies. You don't get any of these extra rubies. You get about an additional 9 from doing quests. So highly recommend that you don't do Time Void. Time Void's also super boring as well. Focus the main story quest, the gold ones, as you can see here, and any group ones that give decent XP that you can also just basically grab quickly. Be in the right area. Be in the right area, as you can see here. Yeah, make sure you have your talent set up so you're doing maximum damage. And yeah, go to the next area. Don't do lower level quests. The occasional really rare double XP events, which basically never happen. And yeah, you can get 50% on your reincarnation character, but you're required to basically have an endgame character already. And then you have to basically get the 50% buff, and it has to be on your order as well. And remember to stop at level 68. So there's your summary. Thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you found something useful here. If I forgot something, please add it in the comments. I hope you look forward to playing the game. And do remember that it is a classic MMO, so there isn't any kind of pay to win if you're not in the pay to win free to play server. It's just good old Dark West grind. Thankfully, though, you don't have to grind mobs. You used to have to do that, but now you don't. At least we don't have to deal with that anymore. But yeah, see yous.